Ever found yourself staring at a medical bill, a vet bill, or even a new set of tires, wishing there was a way to break it down into manageable payments? We've all been there. Unexpected expenses pop up, and sometimes our budgets just aren't ready for them. That's where financing options like CareCredit can seem like a lifeline. But the big question is, can you pre-qualify for CareCredit? That's exactly what we're diving into today. Now, before we get started, it's important to understand what pre-qualifying actually means. Think of it as a sneak peek. It's a way to gauge your chances of approval for a credit card, like CareCredit, without impacting your credit score. It's like dipping your toes in the water before jumping into the deep end. You get an idea of what might be available to you without the worry of a hard inquiry dinging your credit. So, how does the CareCredit pre-qualification process work? It's actually pretty straightforward. You'll typically start by visiting the CareCredit website. There, you'll find a pre-qualification form. This form will ask for some basic information about you. Think of it as a financial introduction. They'll need things like your name, address, date of birth, and your social security number. Don't worry, this is standard practice for any financial pre-qualification process. They use this information to verify your identity and get a quick snapshot of your creditworthiness. Now, the key here is that this is a soft credit check. This means that CareCredit will pull your credit information, but it won't show up as a hard inquiry on your credit report. This is crucial because multiple hard inquiries in a short period can sometimes negatively affect your credit score. So, pre-qualifying allows you to explore your options without that risk. After you submit the pre-qualification form, CareCredit will typically give you a response within minutes. Sometimes it's instant, sometimes it takes a little longer. But generally, you won't be left hanging for days. If you pre-qualify, you'll likely see some offers tailored to you. These offers might include different credit limits and interest rates. This is where you get a sense of what CareCredit might be able to offer you. Now, it's important to understand that pre-qualifying is not a guarantee of approval. It's simply an indication. Think of it like a preliminary job interview. You might have a great first impression, but you still need to go through the formal application process. The same applies to CareCredit. Even if you pre-qualify, you'll still need to formally apply for the card. And during the application process, CareCredit will conduct a hard credit inquiry. This is the official credit check that will be recorded on your credit report. So, why is pre-qualifying so beneficial if it's not a guarantee? Well, it gives you valuable information. First, it gives you an idea of whether or not you're likely to be approved. This can save you time and potential disappointment. Imagine going through the entire application process only to be denied. Pre-qualifying helps you avoid that. Second, it allows you to compare different offers. You might pre-qualify for different credit limits and interest rates. This allows you to choose the offer that best suits your needs and financial situation. Third, it gives you a chance to explore your options without impacting your credit score. As we mentioned earlier, soft inquiries don't affect your credit score. This allows you to shop around for financing options without any negative consequences. Now, let's talk about some factors that can influence your CareCredit pre-qualification. Your credit score is a major factor. CareCredit, like most credit card companies, will look at your credit history to assess your creditworthiness. A higher credit score generally increases your chances of pre-qualifying and getting better offers. Your income is another important factor. CareCredit wants to see that you have the ability to repay the credit you're seeking. They'll look at your income and your existing debt levels to determine your debt-to-income ratio. A lower debt-to-income ratio is generally favorable. Your employment history is also considered. A stable employment history can demonstrate your ability to consistently earn income. So, what can you do to improve your chances of pre-qualifying for CareCredit? First, check your credit score. You can get a free copy of your credit report from each of the 3 major credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Review your credit report for any errors or inaccuracies. Disputing any errors can help improve your credit score. Second, pay your bills on time. Payment history is a significant factor in your credit score. Late payments can negatively impact your creditworthiness. Third, keep your credit utilization low. Credit utilization is the amount of credit you're using compared to your total available credit. A lower credit utilization ratio is generally better. Fourth, avoid applying for too much credit in a short period of time. As we mentioned earlier, multiple hard inquiries can sometimes negatively affect your credit score. Now, let's address some common questions people have about CareCredit pre-qualification. Can you pre-qualify for CareCredit if you have bad credit? It's possible, but it's less likely. CareCredit does cater to a range of credit profiles, but having bad credit can make it more difficult to pre-qualify. However, it's still worth trying. You might be surprised. Can you pre-qualify for CareCredit if you've recently applied for other credit cards? Yes, you can. However, as we mentioned earlier, be mindful of hard inquiries. Can you pre-qualify for CareCredit multiple times? Yes, you can. However, it's generally recommended to wait a few months between pre-qualification attempts. Finally, remember that pre-qualifying is just the first step. If you pre-qualify and decide to apply for the CareCredit card, make sure you understand the terms and conditions. Pay attention to the interest rates, fees, and repayment terms. Make sure you can comfortably afford the monthly payments. CareCredit can be a helpful tool for managing healthcare expenses and other costs, but it's important to use it responsibly. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.